Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yeah, people who are comfortable, turn on your cameras. People who are comfortable, turn on your cameras. All the people who missed yesterday's doubt lecture, I sent the recording. First 5-10 minutes of the doubt lecture, I explained about a frame of reference. Do not miss on it. Please go through it. It's important. Generally, I cover that at the end of magnetics before I start with this classical magnetism. But having done yesterday, I want you people to see the first 10-15 minutes of that particular doubt lecture recording. If not, I will cover it in today's class itself. Today's class, last 10-15 minutes, we'll deal with at least one paragraph of current electricity, exercise 3. Exercise 3 is a paragraph-based question, right?
Yes, sir.
At least one para we'll deal with in the last 5-10 minutes. It will be a bit tiring class for me because whole of this is theory for the sake of theory. Right? But इन 4 experiments, 3 experiments में से एक पर गारंटी क्वेश्चन आएगा जेईई में, वो दिक्कत है, इसलिए this is important. It may be a bit tedious, boring, but it's important. It's boring. This is Earth's magnetic field, terrestrial magnetism. Terrestrial magnetism. Earth's magnetic field. Till date, we don't know why Earth behaves like a magnet. There are so many theories, whichever you like, you can accept. But no concrete proof that this is the reason why Earth behaves like a magnetic field. Right? One more strange thing with Earth. This is geographic north, this is geographic south. This is geographic north and this is geographic south. This will be magnetic south and magnetic north. Technically, we will call it north, but it behaves like a south pole. This will behave like a south pole, this will behave like a north pole. Magnetic north, magnetic south main. To avoid confusion, sometimes they say this is magnetic south. But then nomenclature wise, this is magnetic north, but that will behave like a
south.
The biggest problem for us in schools is geography teachers teach us this terrestrial magnetism. So this creates a lot of confusion. For years in my childhood, I used to have a doubt. If you suspend a bar magnet, north pole is attracted towards this. And in physics, we are told like poles repel. If I'm standing here, if there is a guy standing here, he suspends a bar magnet, north pole will be attracted towards this. Why should north pole of the bar magnet be attracted towards the magnetic north? Because that behaves like a
South pole.
So you mean to say here magnetic lines of force will be entering inwards. You are right. Here magnetic lines of force will be going outwards. You are right. Because this will behave like a north pole. This will behave like a south. It's a very dicey thing. And it seems this angle is 11.3 degrees and it is changing. For every 100 years it changes by 0.1. Even now it is changing. Right? When was the previous time that the polar? Now, why this confusion in nomenclature? All this south, if it behaves like south pole, why did you call it? Why did you call this geographic north? Why your geography is created by you? Change it, call this south pole, let it behave like a south pole. The problem is the polarities change. They're not constant. When was the last that the polarities have reversed? This was originally behaving like a north pole once upon a time. The polarities got reversed. It is said. Mind my language. What am I saying? It
So
is
your voice
said.
got.
Now are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Okay. Now it is said that when dinosaurs got extinct, how did dinosaurs get extinct? There was an asteroid or a meteoroid which came and struck Earth. When you throw a stone on mud, dust will fly. Dust takes time to settle down, right? It seems when that asteroid hit Earth, everything on the surface of the Earth flew into the rocks. Then buildings didn't exist. Water, land, trees, vegetation, mud, rocks, everything flew. How much time did it take for it to settle down again was few thousands of years. For whole of the dust to again settle down, it took few thousands of years. In that settling down, dinosaurs also got buried deep inside. This is one of the hypotheses, or rather one among the most accepted hypotheses. Right? Dinosaurs grew too huge. Dinosaurs were so huge that getting them extinct was not easy. So when everything, that's the reason why they say long, thousands and thousands of years back, where I have water or sea, I had land there. Now where Himalayas exist, we used to have ocean waters there. So there was reshuffling of whole of land and water then when dinosaurs got extinct. We actually live on a very subtle equilibrium. One single strike from a cosmic body, everything will get wiped out. One single strike. And there is something very mysterious which is saving all of us. You are taught about the belt which comes after Mars. What is that belt called?
Asteroid belt.
Asteroid belt.
Asteroid belt. Now this is Sun. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they removed it from the planetary system. They're not calling it a planet. Right? This is Earth. There are so many thousands of particles flying towards this particular planetary system. After all, our planetary system is a speck of a dust particle in front of our galaxy. It is very insignificant, our planetary system, when compared to the total size of the galaxy. We are speaking about Milky Way galaxy. Million galaxies are there. Who really cares about your planetary system? It is a dust particle in front of whole of the galaxy. Now, beauty in that is so many thousands of pieces of rocks are flying into the solar system. Sun is so very massive that even something coming straight towards Earth from this side is pulled by the sun. or Jupiter or Saturn pulls it. Jupiter and Saturn are very massive among the planets. So they pull it and it falls in the asteroid belt behind Mars. Somewhere down the lane, there is some mystic connection of saving Earth from these collisions. And you know how many particles are there in the asteroid belt? Millions of rocks. So many millions of rocks were traveling towards Earth. Either they are pulled by the sun and thrown, the slingshot effect, and thrown out into the space, or they settle up in this particular asteroid belt, and there is a strange force protecting Earth from these asteroids or meteoroids coming into our planetary system. None of us have the right to say this is my life. Million factors are protecting your life on this particular planetary system. Right? We are all accountable and answerable for these mysterious forces. How, why, what, nobody knows. Hence, God is great. Right? Physics never contradicts the existence of God. The more you understand physics, frankly speaking, the more you accept the existence of God. Right? Now, when did dinosaurs get extinct? When that meteor struck, everything on Earth flew about, and it took few thousands of years for the dust to settle down. In that debris, dinosaurs everything got extinct. There is a strange anthropology thesis on it. Dhyan's me. Anthropology is a very strange topic. Nobody will study the topic. But if somebody has interest and you read that, you will be really amused reading so many things. In one of the anthropology thesis, they write that evolution goes in one particular direction. Survival of the fittest is the law of nature. But problem is, definition of this word fittest keeps changing. Once upon a time, animal kingdom grew in such a way such that the fittest was the bulkiest. So dinosaurs started dominating. They did not let any other species grow. Now, nature has a subconscious mind which understood that they wanted stronger mind and not body. They nature wanted an evolution process with intelligent mind, not a huge body. So it had to restructure this flaw in the evolution process. How do you restructure that? Destroy the dinosaurs and restructure it. You're building something and you didn't like it. You destroy it and you rebuild it, right? That's what happened. Evolution process went in the wrong direction. That animal kingdom started growing in size, not in brain. So the system restructured and created animals with brain. That's what we are. Right? So once again, the statement holds good. You tell me this is my life. Million years back, somebody is planning for you to walk on this planet this day. And the plan has been successful. So credit for life on the planet itself is a huge credential for the creator of the universe. So he planned it very well. One among them is this. And Earth science is one such science where strangely we have occupied galaxy. We have occupied this planetary system with satellites, but we don't have complete information about Earth even now. Deep inside the Earth sciences itself is a huge research topic. Quite a few IITs you have got Earth sciences. Right? BTech in Earth sciences, geoengineering. Students don't opt for these branches. Next year, you people will be calling up and asking, should we take this branch, that branch, Earth sciences, geophysics, geosciences. These topics, if you are interested, they are awesome. But they don't fetch you money. You will not earn a lot of money in those branches. Theoretical physics, these topics, they are very interesting, but you tell any of these informations, so and so year something struck Earth and dinosaurs got extinct, everybody will hear, congratulate you and walk it. Nobody will pay you for that. You tell them I designed a chemical which will do wonders when it goes through your blood. There will be million takers for it to pay you for that. So research actually is industry oriented, not knowledge oriented. Necessarily need not. All said and done, key factor that you should remember is what you think as magnetic north pole behaves like a south pole, what you think as magnetic south pole behaves like a north. So whenever you suspend a freely suspended bar magnet, north pole of the bar magnet will be towards the magnetic north. Don't get confused because that behaves like a south pole. After dinosaurs got extinct, when was the next time that the polarities got reversed?
Never.
After dinosaurs got extinct, when was the next time that the polarities got reversed?
Never till date.
In the movie 2012. देखा है आप लोगों ने movie?
Yes, sir.
2012 movie में the hypothesis is mankind will get extinct because of a natural disaster. All of them will be lifted up in a space shuttle so that mankind is protected, and then the administrator is kept informed. That the GPS system tracking the Earth reveals that the polarities have been reversed. When we were teaching the batch 2010-12, this was a very frequent joke in the batch. And there were predictions. That movie was the first movie where the American president is a black. Right? So quite a few people started predicting that this 2012 may be an actual disaster for us, because as predicted in that movie, America had the first black president also. Right? So people started feeling, then so it was a regular joke in the class. कुछ समझ में नहीं आया तो यार 2012 में जी देंगे, बैठ जाओ, don't worry, there will be no change. So any student ask any doubt, the class, whole of the class used to bully him. There we'll give in 2012, don't worry, there will be no JE, the earth will come to an end. Was a frequent joke in the year 2012. Jokes apart. Now, two things that you will have to this is geographic north, this is magnetic north. A person standing here, a plane passing through me and the magnetic north is called magnetic meridian. This will be called magnetic meridian. All information for the sake of information. This will be geographic meridian. Phi will be called declination. Now, if I suspend, what is magnetic meridian? I repeat, plane passing through me or you, wherever you are standing, and the magnetic north is called magnetic meridian. Plane passing through you and the geographic north is called geographic meridian. You mean to say this angle keeps changing depending on where I stand on Earth. You're right. You stand here, phi will be different. You stand here, phi will be different. This is the plane passing through me and the geographic north. This is the plane passing through me and the magnetic north. Now, if I suspend a bar magnet, it will be in which plane? Magnetic meridian?
Yes, sir.
And it will come this way. This will be the net magnetic field. This will be the horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field. This will be the vertical component of Earth's magnetic field. Del is called dip or inclination. Second point, tan del is BV by BH, or cos del is BH by B. Right? Cos del is adjacent side by hypotenuse. More popularly, they use cos del. Cos del, del is dip or inclination.
Sir,
Wait, somebody is
left-
typing because they're in Malgudi days. Did you people read Malgudi days?
A horse and two goats padha hai.
Okay. I thought only our times we studied Malgudi days.
It was
We
in
had
10th
a-
board syllabus.
Acha.
Yeah.
For us, we didn't have it in 10th. We didn't have it in 10th. We read it as a book because those days we didn't have cell phones, TV, and all that. So Malgudi days was a popular book that we read. And the whole of Malgudi days came out as a serial.
Yeah, I saw the serial.
का नाम सुना है आपने?
Yeah.
Girish Karnad in South. He was the chief actor in Malgudi days. Whole of that and Doordarshan was telecasted as a complete sequence. Okay, good grace. I didn't even imagine that you people will know about Malgudi days. Great. Somebody typed, I have read complete Malgudi days. That's great. Good, good.
Sir, can you show the lower part of the board?
Cos del, that is the lowest. Cos del, adjacent side by hypotenuse.
So is that 11.3 degrees have something to do with the tilting of the Earth about its axis when it's rotating like 22.5 degrees somewhere it's tilted, right? The Earth.
That may be related to this. I have no idea. I
Okay.
remember that only that. And this value is changing continuously. In the fourth or the fifth decimal place, it is changing. But at least for the last 100 years, it didn't change in the first decimal place.
Sir, I don't understand how the switching of the polarity of the magnet inside the Earth would lead to natural disasters and so on and so forth.
Natural disasters correspond to this. It's not vice versa. Switching doesn't lead to natural disasters. Natural disasters lead to switching. Can I rub the board?
Yes, sir.
We dealt with history. Just know this. Now comes deflection magnetometer. This is the diciest experiment. Once we reach this experiment, we are completely exhausted. ये बड़ा खतरनाक experiment है यार. You people generally do it in your 11th standard, but with the present scenario, you will not be doing this experiment, right? 12th का experiment ही करोगे आप लोग. So सुन लो, मगर ये JEE mains में आता है, right? Deflection magnetometer. Deflection magnetometer.
स्कूल में दिया था शायद.
School में. Purpose of this is to calculate M by BH. Capital M is the dipole moment of the bar magnet. BH is the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Technically, when you suspend a bar magnet, it will never be horizontal this way. It will be inclined this way. Because you are on a spherical surface, you are standing on Earth. It will have a horizontal and vertical component. I showed to you in the magnetic meridian how the magnet is actually inclined. The angle which the magnet makes with the horizontal is del. That is called depth or inclination. Agreed?
Yes.
In this topic, JEE mains people have almost every alternate year asked a question on this experiment. And they have reached a saturation. So now I have a feeling, this is my personal gut feeling, that the next they ask a question on it will be based on the errors of this experiment. Errors पर ध्यान देते. Till now they didn't ask questions on errors. By the way, what is the aim of this experiment M by BH? What is the experimental setup? This is a wooden plank. You are seeing the top view. This is a wooden plank with a scale besides it. And a compass placed at the center. There is a groove in which the compass can be placed. I will try to show you a compass, but first of all, this will be called tan A position. क्या बोल रहे हो? tan, TAN, tan A position. Tan A position में the wooden arms will be along the east-west direction. What is called tan A position? Wooden arms are along the east-west direction. I will try to show you a magnetic compass. 1 second, wait.
So which angle is here?
Tan A position, angle is not given. Magnetic compass. Wait, 1 second.
Yes, cut the scale.
It coincides with center of compass.
Now 1 second, all of you look at the compass carefully. There is one black piece in between. Are you able to see this black piece?
Yes.
This is the magnet inside the compass. The red dot is the North Pole. Are you able to see the red dot?
Yes, sir.
Right? This scale, they are showing you at the center. I showed you at one extreme end. And this is a thin aluminum pointer. Thin aluminum point. Right? This is the magnetic compass.
Observe a compass box is in the center of wooden board. Scale is present on either side of the board. It coincides with center of compass. Let's see the positions. Tan A position. Arms of magnetometer are adjusted to be parallel to the aluminum pointer so that they lie in the east-west direction. The compass box is rotated so that the pointer reads 0 degrees to 0 degrees on the circular scale. Tan B position. The arms of the magnetometer are adjusted to be parallel to the magnetic needle so that they lie in the north-south direction. The compass box is rotated to make the pointer reads 0 degrees to 0 degrees on the circular scale. Now arrange the deflection magnetometer in tan A position. Now place the ball magnet on one arm at a distance of 15 cm. Observe the deflections in compass box and note it as alpha 1, alpha 2. Now reverse the same magnet at the same distance. Now note the deflections as alpha 3, alpha 4. Now place the same magnet on another arm at the same distance. Now note the deflections as alpha 5, alpha 6. Now reverse the same magnet at the same distance. Now note the deflections as alpha 7, alpha 8. Now arrange the deflection magnetometer in tan B position. Now place a bar magnet on one arm at a distance of 15 cm. Now observe the deflection in compass box and note it as alpha 1, alpha 2. Now reverse the same magnet at the same distance. Now note it as alpha 3, alpha 4. Now place the same magnet on another arm at the same distance. Now note the deflections as alpha 5, alpha 6. Now reverse the same magnet at the same distance. Now note the deflections as alpha 7, alpha 8. Now place the magnetometer in tan A position. Now place the first magnet on one arm at distance of 15 cm. Now place the second magnet on end of the another arm. Here the similar poles are facing each other. Now move the second magnet towards the compass box until aluminum pointer shows 0 degrees to 0 degrees deflections.
Now listen. Now listen. Basically, you got a basic idea on this, right? Are you people there?
Yes, sir.
Now, first tan A position we deal with. Concentrate on the errors. Let me solve the first, then I will speak about the errors. Your purpose was to find out M by BH, right? So first, when you kept along the east-west, the bar magnet will be in this direction, north-south. The black piece was your bar magnet. Agreed?
Sir, but in a
Hello.
normal compass box, there is only a needle, right? There's no magnet also inside. Yeah, there were two
The
things.
black piece is the magnet and the aluminum pointer is the needle.
But in normal boxes, there's just a needle, right? Normal compass.
नॉर्मल बॉक्स ही है वो, जो बॉक्स दिखाया आपको स्पेशल बॉक्स है क्या?
नहीं,
नॉर्मल बॉक्स ही है.
the normal compass which you use to find direction, it only has a needle, right? It does not have any magnet inside it.
विदाउट मैग्नेट कंपास का क्या करूं? तेल लाने गया हो कंपास?
Needle खरीद
बिना
सकते हैं
मैग्नेट का
आप।
कंपास हाउ विल इट शो यू द डायरेक्शन यार? क्या पूछ रहे हो? अरे भाई साहब, कंपास इज नथिंग बट ए मैग्नेट. कंपास इज नथिंग बट ए मैग्नेट. एवरी कंपास विल हैव ए मैग्नेट. हाँ, एल्यूमिनियम पॉइंटर हो या ना हो,
Okay, sir.
एल्यूमिनियम पॉइंटर हो या ना हो, मैग्नेट इज कंपल्सरी. इस कंपास में द ब्लैक पीस विद द रेड डॉट इज द मैग्नेट, रेड डॉट इज द नॉर्थ, राइट? नाउ थोड़ा ध्यान से सुनिए. You place a bar magnet here with this at the north pole. So what will happen? Magnetic field due to the bar magnet here. This will be called end-on position. कुछ याद आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
End-on position.
Yes,
कुछ
sir.
याद आ रहा है? And
Yes.
it is not a short bar magnet because this is also in centimeters and the distance from the center till here is also in centimeters. So when this was in centimeters and that was in meters, then I would say short bar magnet. Here short bar magnet will not be applicable. Now what will be the magnetic field because of the bar magnet? Mu naught capital M d by 4 pi d square minus l square whole square. Thank you, Bolo.
Thank you.
Without asking you people, I wrote this. You know why?
Because we don't remember.
Because I didn't want to disturb myself. Right? I know I'll ask you people, you will not say I get irritated. Why unnecessary? Answer bol do. Yes or no?
Yes.
Smart. pH. Earth's horizontal component will be along north-south. So the resultant magnetic field will be in this direction. Now this angle is, he gave alpha or something, I'll call it theta. Tan theta will be B by pH. B is mu naught capital M D by 4 pi D square minus L square whole square into 1 by BH. Yes or no? Tan theta you just now measured. You had a needle inside and you had, and one more problem. You had to keep a short bar magnet inside the compass. You kept. I am happy. Aluminum pointer, what for was it necessary? It is necessary because this is the compass. This will be 0, 0. This will be 99. If the magnet is in this direction, magnet को short होना जरूरी है. So this magnet is pointing to which angle? I cannot make it out. So you give me an aluminum pointer which is long. This aluminum pointer will give me the reading here. But magnet is pointing to which point or which angle? That becomes presumption. How do I see the reading here? It will be difficult when the magnet is short. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This is one of the important reasons why you need an aluminum pointer. तो मैग्नेट को लंबा बना दो ना यार, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा. एल्यूमिनियम पॉइंटर जितना लंबा है उतना लंबा मैग्नेट को बना दो. नहीं बना सकते. Errors will be innumerable. I will show you why. Right? Now, first of all, purpose of the experiment was to calculate M by BH. How do I get M by BH here? M by BH will be 4 pi d square minus L square whole square into tan theta upon, make it 2 pi mu naught d. Can I use this experiment to compare the dipole moment of two bar magnets? Obviously, M1 by BH, M2 by BH. Keep the first bar magnet, get M1 by BH. Keep the second bar magnet, get M2 by BH. M1 by M2 जब लेंगे, आपको tan theta वहीं at the same distance. Keep it at the same distance. Tan theta 1 by tan theta. Or get the same deflection. This divided by this. You can vary any one of them. So can I compare two dipole moments of two bar magnets? Yes. Experiment no इतना simple दिख रहा है यार. इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है? You are telling so many errors are there. So many errors are there. You will take 16 readings in this. How many readings?
16.
That means there are how many possible errors? 4 possible errors. To eliminate 4 possible errors, you take 16 readings. अब समझ में आया where the difficulty comes? This is not difficult. Till here it's easy. Our trouble starts here. Take it down till here.
So what is L and D in this case?
L is the length of the bar. This formula में you are asking me what is L and D. This formula में.
Yes, sir.
What punishment should this
No,
guy
in
deserve?
our case,
Our case,
in this experiment, what is L and D?
in this formula, what is L and D?
In this experiment, what is L and D?
Yeah.
In this experiment, deflection magnetometer, what is L and D? That I'm asking.
ये formula में what is L and D is what I am asking. अब तो बकरा मिल गया 100 times in position or $10. Hey.
Sir, L is half the length.
L is the length of the bar magnet. D is the distance from the center.
Right.
Now listen, take it down till here and speak about the errors.
So the needle could be parallel to the magnet also, right?
Needle could be aluminum pointer.
Yes, sir. Pointer.
Uh-huh.
So why did I keep it
There'll
perpendicular?
be parallax error, yeah. Both you keep one over the other. No, there'll be parallax error. You'll have to see one over the other. So they keep it perpendicular.
Understood.
Could you explain the usage, the use of the aluminum pointer again?
Aluminum pointer is used to take the reading on the circular scale because the magnet will be only of this side. Magnet will be short. So which point is the magnet pointing to? Which direction is the magnet pointing to?
90 plus the aluminum pointer reader.
Right?
Okay.
So aluminum pointer is long so that I will be able to take this reading easily. Bar magnet is short. It is pointing to which point I will not be able to make out. Hence I need an aluminum pointer which is light. Tell me when you're done with.
Done, sir.
Now, what is the possible error in whole of this? The trouble comes like this. How do you manufacture a bar magnet?
So take a metallic piece and you rub a bar magnet across.
Bar magnet तैयार कैसा करें?
So solenoid में रखते हैं.
Keep a paramagnetic material or a ferromagnetic material inside a solenoid. Agreed?
Yes.
Now, after keeping it inside a solenoid, you are making an assumption, which is a bias, which need not be the case. You are making an assumption that your bar magnet has all the dipoles aligned in this direction. What is the guarantee? Why should all the dipoles be in such a wonderful alignment? There is no such rule, right? You are making the assumption that your bar magnet is ideal. Bar magnet need not. There is every possibility that the dipoles are aligned this way. You are assuming this to be the axis. Technically, this could be the axis. First possible error. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Second, there is one more possibility of error here. What is that possibility of error? You are assuming that the alignment is uniform all throughout. It need not be. At the back end, it is very aligned. At the front end, it is not that aligned. Here it is very much aligned. Here it is not that well aligned. What will happen? You are taking measurements from the center of the bar magnet till here as D. Geometric center of the bar magnet may be D, but magnetic center will be from here because here alignment is much more uniform when compared to this. What you are assuming is geometric center to be the magnetic center can be a myth. What you are assuming as geometrical axis to be the magnetic axis can be a myth. This is the geometrical axis. This is the magnetic axis. This is the geometric center. This is the magnetic center. These are the two possible errors in the bar magnet You are assuming a very ideal bar magnet. Who knows how the alignment inside is? Right? So now how do you eliminate these both errors? Will be explained. First, draw these both.
These will be there for natural magnets also.
Every magnet.
Natural
Yeah,
magnets.
natural magnets as well. Natural magnets need not be perfect ideal magnets.
So what do you tell about that M axis and G axis for the above one?
Axis.
Magnetic axis and
Magnetic
geometry.
axis. Dipole's alignment, I am assuming, is straight along this axis. But dipole alignments are slightly inclined. So this will be the magnetic axis, this will be the geometrical axis. I am assuming geometrical axis only because I don't know the magnetic axis.
Right.
So how do you eliminate these both errors? Can I rub the board?
Yes, sir.
No, first of all, even in the magnetometer, to avoid error, if you people have observed, this is 0 and 0, this is 90 and 90. Now, aluminum pointer is like this. Whatever reading I get here, I should get the same reading here. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
If I don't get the reading, see, if I'm taking this as theta, this should be theta. If I get the same reading on both sides, I'm safe. There is no error in the magnetometer. By chance, if the aluminum pointer is not fixed exactly at the center and it goes from here. Right? Now you are measuring this as theta. And you are measuring this as theta. This theta and this theta technically should be the same, but here you will not get the same. Agreed? When you don't get the same, take the average of both of them. This is slightly greater than the actual value. This is slightly lesser than the actual value. You take the average, you will get the actual value.
I don't understand how this will be different.
This will be different because the measurement of the angle is from here.
Got it.
Right? Technically, this is what you are measuring. Fine. Similarly, this will be the angle. So obviously, these both angles will not turn out to be the same. How do you eliminate that error? You will take theta 1, theta 2. This is theta 1, theta 2. Every time you will take reading on both sides of the magnetometer and take the average to eliminate the error. This is one possibility. Theta 1, theta 2. If they both are equal, that means there is no error in it. If they are not equal, I'll take theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2. Eliminating error in the magnetometer. First point. Agreed? Now
Yes, sir.
listen carefully. The bar magnet which you kept here, your geometrical axis is this way, magnetic axis is this way. Magnetic axis and geometrical axis. Right? You made measurements theta 1 and theta 2. Observe this carefully. This is the bar magnet. You are seeing the top view. Technically, you keep it on a horizontal platform. Right? You are seeing the top view. This is the bar magnet. This is the geometrical axis. And this is the magnetic axis. This is the geometrical axis. You have taken theta 1 and theta 2. Assuming geometrical axis to be the magnetic axis. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
थोड़ा ध्यान से सुनिए. 5-10 minutes, have patience. Right? Have a look at this. Now, I actually don't know how the magnetic axis is oriented. So how do I eliminate the error? I will invert the bar magnet. In this case, the bar magnet, the magnetic axis was upwards. When I invert it, the magnetic axis will be downwards.
Yes, sir.
Now I will take theta 3, theta 4. I inverted the bar magnet, and this is the magnetic axis. This is the geometrical axis. I will get theta 3, theta 4 here. Take the average. I'll be eliminating the error due to non-orientation of the axis.
Yes.
Here it was above, here it is below. So if I take the average of these two, I will be eliminating the error which arises due to orientation of the magnetic axis.
Yes, sir.
Now I have a second problem. What was the second problem you told me? The geometric center need not be the magnetic center. It may be slightly ahead or behind. Geometric center need not be the magnetic center. Maybe it is slightly behind. Then what do you do? Right? Observe carefully. Observe carefully. This was the North Pole, right? This was the North Pole. Are you able to see this North Pole?
Yes, sir.
This was the North Pole. North Pole was closer to this particular point. Now I will turn it this way. North Pole is farther away.
Yes.
If this was the magnetic center in the first case, which was not the geometric center, magnetic center was closer. Now when I turn it this way, magnetic center will be farther.
Yes, sir.
Now this is the North Pole and this is the South Pole. I will take theta 5 and theta 6. Now see the axis. It was like this. I turned it this way. The axis goes downwards. I repeat, in an attempt to eliminate the error due to the centers, in an attempt to do that, when I turned it this way, what happened? The axis goes downwards. This is the axis. Right? Now I will have to reverse this again. And the axis goes upwards. This is North Pole and South Pole. Theta 7, theta 8. This I will reverse this way because axis ka error bhi eliminate karna hai. How many readings did you get?
8.
Did you understand all 8 readings why you took? Here you are taking both sides to eliminate error in the magnetometer. These 4 readings you have taken to eliminate error in the bar magnet. And what was the error? In this case, you are eliminating error due to orientation of the axis. In this case, you are eliminating error due to non-coincidence of the magnetic center with the geometric center. Starting of the experiment, you were telling 16 readings need to be taken. मुझे तो 8 ही दिख रहे हैं. Why will you take 16 readings?
Other side.
Other side, why did he take at the first place? क्यों? Why did he place the bar magnet on the other side? Listen carefully. कंपास के अंदर भी एक बार मैग्नेट है. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now that magnet is perfectly magnetized is our assumption. कंपास के अंदर जो मैग्नेट है is perfectly magnetized is our assumption. That will also have orientation problem. So how do I eliminate the orientation? Remove the bar magnet inside and invert it.
Yes, sir.
मैं नहीं कर सकता हूं. कंपास इज फिक्स्ड. ये जो छोटा सा बार मैग्नेट है आपको निकाल के इन्वर्ट करना है. I cannot do that. Then what do you do? Place this bar magnet on the other side. The problem will be solved. Again take 8 readings. Total of 16 readings. अब समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
They have already asked questions on M by BH. Every alternate year they asked questions on it. They didn't touch errors till now. I have a very strong feeling that they will ask a question on errors. Make a proper note.
So what did we do to get the second reading of theta 3 and theta 4?
Come again, theta.
Theta 3 and theta 4, how did we get that reading? What did we do to the magnet?
This was the bar magnet initially. The axis was like this. You inverted the bar magnet so that now the axis goes downwards.
Oh, okay, okay.
You are
Got it.
eliminating the error which arises due to non-orientation of the magnetic axis with geometric axis. And listen,
Yes.
if exactly magnetic axis and geometric axis are identical or in the same direction, then this value and this value would be the same.
Yes, sir.
Just as if this error didn't exist, theta 1, theta 2 would be the same. It's okay. Yet take the average. If they're same, what difference will that make? Tell me when you're done with it.
Done, sir.
Now, what will tan B position be? Tan B position is when you keep the wooden plank along the north-south direction. Tan B position is when you keep the wooden plank along the north-south direction. You place the bar magnet this way. This was originally the aluminum pointer and the magnet inside. Now you place it. The bar magnet inside the compass will be along north-south. Now you place a bar magnet here like this. This is BH, this is B. For the bar magnet, B value, do we remember? And what is that called? Broad side-on position. सुना सुना लगता है कहीं पर
Yes.
सुना?
Yes, sir.
Mu naught capital M by 4 pi d square plus L
3 by 2.
square to the power 3 by 2. Broad side on position. Short bar magnet approximation will not be valid. D is the distance from the center of the bar magnet to this particular point. Now, the deflection will be, this will be theta. Tan theta will be B by BH. Now, mu naught capital M by 4 pi d square plus L square to the power 3 by 2 into 1 by BH. M by BH आ गया कि नहीं? M by BH is 4 pi d square plus L square to the power 3 by 2 into tan theta divided by mu naught. कुछ और भूल तो नहीं रहा?
Nice, sir.
I know the measurement of D using the scale shown in the apparatus. L is the half the length of the bar magnet. Pi mu naught tan theta is what you measured. How many readings of tan theta will you get?
16.
I repeat the logic of 16. Have a look at it. I first keep the bar magnet this way. I will take theta 1 and theta 2. I reverse a north pole here. Theta 3 and theta 4. Reverse the bar magnet this way. Theta 5 and theta 6. Set the bar magnet here in reverse. Theta 7, theta 8. Take it to the other side. Keep it at the same distance and you will get 8 more readings. Total how many readings?
16 and 16, 32.
Hey.
Type A का 16, type B का 16.
हाँ हाँ. Tan A, tan B दोनों नहीं करते. एक ही करेंगे. So 16. 16 readings का average लोगे. That will eliminate the error.
No braces, everything's hands-free.
Which the oscillations can be observed. It contains a wooden box with glass windows on the sides and a slit on the top through which the oscillations can be observed. A stirrup in which a magnet can be placed is suspended by a fine torsionless fiber from the torsion head T. A plain mirror with a fine line PQ parallel to the length is fixed on the base helps to count the number of vibrations made by the magnet without parallax error as in figure. Principle: a freely suspended magnet in a uniform magnetic field aligns in the direction of the field. When it is displaced through a small angle theta in a horizontal plane and released, it experiences a restoring couple. This keeps the magnet in simple harmonic motion. Application of vibration magnetometer. The vibration magnetometer can be used: A. To compare the horizontal components of Earth's magnetic field at different places, and B. To determine the magnetic moment of a magnet and the horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field at a given place when used along with deflection magnetometer. To compare the horizontal components of Earth's magnetic field at two places. Procedure. The box is rotated so that the line AB lies in the magnetic meridian with the help of a magnetic compass. A brass bar is placed in the stirrup and the torsion head is rotated so that the bar comes to rest in the magnetic meridian. Now, the brass bar is removed and a bar magnet is kept in it. The magnet aligns in the magnetic meridian without any torsion in the suspension wire. This magnet of moment, M, is made to deflect in a horizontal plane through a small angle with the help of an external magnet and set to vibrate. The time taken for 10 oscillations is determined. It is repeated for 3 times and the average time T is taken. The time period T1 is calculated. Let BE1 be in horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field. The time period is T1 is equal to 2 pi square root of I by MBE1. Now the apparatus is shifted to the other place and the time period T2 is determined. If BE2 is the horizontal component.
No, you understood the setup of this, right? How the apparatus looks like. Vibrating magnetometer. I quite a few times call it oscillating magnetometer. Our times we used to use that language, but now we all throughout refer to as vibrating magnetometer. Vibrating magnetometer. Now listen, if there is a bar magnet kept this way, will it oscillate?
Yes.
This is theta, right? Torque on it will be M cross B. This is what we were told. So this is MB sin theta. Equate it to I into alpha. What does I stand for?
Moment of inertia.
Moment of inertia, not correct. I stands for moment of inertia of the bar magnet. Alpha will be MB by I into theta. This can be put up as theta if and only if theta is.
Very small.
Very small.
So remember the precaution in this experiment. Oscillation should be small. Omega will be under root. Sorry, time period will be under root 2 pi I by M BH. BH. This is Earth's horizontal component BH. So time period will be 2 pi under root I by MBH. MBH, the purpose of this experiment is to find out MBH. Either do the comparison of the dipole moment of 2 bar magnets or find out the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. If you know M, from here time period is calculated, I is known. If you know MBH, you know M, you can find out BH, you know BH, you can find out M. Right? And how is it done? They take a box this way. One side opening so that A currents don't disturb this. There is a line on the bottom, and what do you do is torsional, you put up a hook such that there are two hooks which he showed, in which you will first keep. If you people observe, he used one language there. You first place a brass piece, set it into oscillation, and then relieve it. You know why? This wire, if it has got a twist in it, it should be removed. If there is a twist in the wire, that should be removed. How will you remove it? Load it from underneath, it will rotate and the twist will be removed. Now you place a bar magnet. This line is along the north-south direction. When you started the experiment, the line underneath, you turned the box in such a way such that this line is along the north-south direction. You kept a bar magnet. That means indirectly, firstly, you are keeping a bar magnet in the direction of the Earth's magnetic field. You are keeping a bar magnet in the direction of Earth's magnetic field. That's what you are doing. This bar magnet is in the direction of Earth's magnetic field. Then you bought another magnet close by and set it into oscillations. You observed the time period for 10 oscillations or 20, and then that time period you substitute here, moment of inertia of the brass piece you substitute here, you will get MBH. You can use it to compare the dipole moment of two bar magnets, or you can use it to find out the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field.
By north-south, you mean the magnetic or the geometric of the Earth?
North-south, you mean?
The geographical north-south or the magnetic north?
Magnetic. Anytime a freely suspended bar magnet will align in the direction of magnetic north-south, not geographic north-south.
So I had a doubt in the previous one. Sir, if so, to eliminate the error of the magnetic center, we took the readings θ1 and θ2, and we took the average of those. So if the
θ1, θ2 were to eliminate the error in the magnetometer.
In the magnetometer, yes, sir. So what I was asking.
In the magnetometer, if the needle is not passing through the center, this angle should be the same.
Yes, sir. So what my question was, so if the question is asked how many readings we need to take, would the answer be 4, since we would take the readings from both sides of the magnetometer? Or would it just be θ1, θ2, 2 readings?
To eliminate which error?
That's this, the center error in the magnetometer. It's passing through the center.
Two, that's it.
Only 2, okay.
The error in the compass can be eliminated by taking the reading on both sides.
Done, sir.
All of you have this book Cengage with you, or somebody do not have. Okay. Exercises for this topic, this bar magnet ka topic ka exercise ke liye practice, and send you photocopies of Cengage. Right. Instead of HCV, solve that. He exactly stuck to JEE mains requirements. tangent galvanometer. I'll again have to show you this apparatus. Wait a minute.
Tangent galvanometer. Aim. To determine the reduction factor of a tangent galvanometer and the horizontal intensity of Earth's magnetic field using a tangent galvanometer. Apparatus. Tangent galvanometer, commutator, rheostat, regulated DC power supply, ammeter, key, and connecting wires. Tangent galvanometer consists of a coil of insulated copper wire wound on a circular non-magnetic frame. When a current
1 second. Do you people see where the coil is? See, observe this. This circular coil is the coil which they are talking of.
copper wire wound on a circular non
Now see, do you people see a circle? This one. So inside that is the coil, the circular coil.
magnetic frame. When a current is passed through the circular coil, a magnetic field is produced at the center of the coil, which is perpendicular to Earth's magnetic field. Since the needle is under the action of these two perpendicular magnetic fields, it is deflected from the mean position. Principle. The working principle behind the tangent galvanometer is the tangent law. When a bar magnet is suspended in two magnetic fields, B and BH, the magnet comes to rest, making an angle theta with the direction of BH as shown in the figure. This is called the tangent law in magnetism. Theory. Usually, tangent galvanometer is arranged in such a way that the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field is in the direction of the plane of the coil. When a current flows through the circular coil, the magnetic needle is under the action of two mutually perpendicular fields. If theta is a deflection of the needle, then according to the tangent law, B is equal to BH tan theta.
They are running around very fast. Have a look at it. You will not understand it that way. Listen. Firstly, you understood there is a circular coil. You will first turn the apparatus in such a way such that the circular coil is along, plane of the circular coil is along the Earth's horizontal component. Plane of the circular coil, 1 second, wait. Let me show you some plane. Now listen. This is the circular coil. Winding of the wire is inside, right? This is kept in such a way such that this is the Earth's horizontal component. And how do you do that? Magnetic compass you placed at the center, right? From top, when you see in rotate, magnetic compass के अंदर जो छोटा सा black magnet है, that will be in the direction of north south. So when you rotate this way, the circular coil will be in the direction of north south. At that instant, you will keep the apparatus and fix the screw. First point, did you understand this? The current carrying coil will be in the direction of north south. Fine with that?
Yes.
Now when I send current in it, what will be the direction of the magnetic field? This will be the direction of magnetic field. Mu naught I by 2R. When I send current in this particular coil, mu naught I by 2R. Yes or no? Circular
Yes, sir.
coil at the center.
Yes.
And Earth's horizontal component is like this. Earth's horizontal component will be in this particular plane. You rotated it originally that way. Current due to this particular coil will be this way. The needle will settle in the resultant direction of this and BH. Do you get the apparatus now?
Yes.
Now listen. Basically, this is the coil, right? There is current in it, and you have got this apparatus here. This is the magnetic compass. So this will be BH, and technically B will come this way. So I'll draw it this way. B. Resultant direction tan theta will be B by BH. What is B? Mu naught I by 2R into number of turns. How many turns are there in that particular coil? N number of turns. Up to 500 can be accommodated by BH. Right? Your requirement is I. This is galvanometer. It measures current. BH tan theta into 2R divided by mu naught and BH tan theta into 2R divided by mu naught n. How do you want me to get mu naught and BH values? Only then I can measure current. All of this 2R BH divided by mu naught n into tan theta. You call this as some constant K. R is the radius, BH, mu naught n. And how do you calculate that? Experimentally, how do you do that? First, I will send one standard value of current. I will send some standard value of current and I will observe theta. Will I get the value of BH to R by mu naught n? That will be some constant K. Right? First, I will send standard current, say 1 milliampere of current I send. I observed the deflection. Will I get the value of this constant K?
Yes, sir.
Right. Once I know that, now when I send an unknown current into it, measure theta, I know K, I will get the current value. Now this is basically the experiment. There is something important in this called sensitivity. Sensitivity. When do you think the galvanometer is sensitive? Di by d theta, K secant square theta, Di by I, K secant square theta d theta by K tan theta. Am I right? Di by I will be Di by I. Secant square theta is 1 by cos square theta, sin by cos theta. So 1 by cos square theta into cos theta by sin theta into d theta. Hope my calculation is correct. Now I will write it here. I am running short of space. Is this part of the board visible? Di by I will be 2 d theta by sin 2 theta. Sensitivity of the galvanometer. For a small change in current, I should get a large deflection. Then I will consider it to be very sensitive. In general, how do I measure sensitivity? Di by I. At a particular current value, if I change the current by Di, whatever is the deflection I get, I multiplied the numerator and denominator by 2. That's why I got sin 2 theta. And when will I consider the equipment to be very sensitive? For a small change in current, if I get a large variation in the deflection, then the equipment is very sensitive. This experiment I used to show it in the class in the live lectures. Right? We have this apparatus in every junior college of PACE. On this online, we are dependent on YouTube videos only. Oof. 2 to 3 times JEE mains people asked you DI by I value. They gave small changes in theta, they asked DI by I value. Sensitivity of the galvanometer is something that they keep checking time and again. When you people go to Pace Junior Science College, please ask for tangent galvanometer, hold it in your hand and see the coils winding to this. And this magnetometer, right, compass rather, when you actually see it, it makes a lot of difference. Using this apparatus, I have done these practicals in 1988. And for us then practicals were very orthodoxly done, not like you people that we show you how to do it. Oh yeah, nahi. We don't get the experiment, फिर से करवाते थे. एक experiment result ढंग से आए नहीं, फिर से करो. So we used to do that till we understand the complete apparatus. So we were very well versed with the usage of these apparatus. When you work with your hands on it, it makes a lot of difference than when you are learning it this way. Sometimes I feel we are teaching you history. ये सब apparatus हमारे time यार, for us it was something very innovative. आप लोगों के लिए galvanometer कौन tangent galvanometer use करेगा? Sometimes I feel it is history. The syllabus need to be restructured, but it takes time. And every year JEE mains will ask you. That's why JEE Advanced removed all this. JEE Advanced में सब है नहीं. At least IIT people are a bit sensible. JEE mains people are very particular about it. हर साल इन 4 experiments में से एक पर guarantee क्वेश्चन आता है. Officially done with magnetism. अभी 5 मिनट में सिंगेज एक्सरसाइजेस का फोटोज आपको भेजूंगा इस टॉपिक के लिए. करंट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का 2 असाइनमेंट्स भेजा है मैंने, बिकॉज यू पीपल हैव अ टॉपिक वाइज टेस्ट ऑन नेक्स्ट संडे. एम आई राइट? करंट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. मैग्नेटिज्म का अभी कुछ नहीं भेजूंगा जब तक आप लोग बुकलेट खत्म नहीं करेंगे. मैग्नेटिज्म एचसीवी खत्म करो, बुकलेट खत्म करो. देयर इज लॉट ऑफ जॉब लेफ्ट ओवर फॉर यू पीपल. Wish you all a happy Diwali.
Thank you, sir. Happy
Happy Diwali, sir.
No, current electricity exercise 3 next class.
Happy Diwali, sir.
Okay. So, people who are busting crackers, play it safe. Don't hurt yourself by any means. Pollution layer, tel lane. If you're busting crackers, enjoy. In childhood, for me, the most enjoyable festival was Diwali. But so many crackers. Bina crackers ka kya zindagi hai yaar?
And so the pollution is only because of Diwali, not another all festivals when
जो भी
crackers
है,
are blown.
एक दिन के लिए let's bear it, but play it safe. Don't do funny, foolish things with that. I used to do many funny things with that. Everything was costly for us. Light one rocket, and if it doesn't catch fire, I used to bend and see it. That was the most foolish thing I ever did in my life. But then I was having specs that saved me. Sparks came out immediately. I kept it straight. Luckily, I escaped 2 to 3 such type of accidents with small burns. But they're enjoyable moments. A lot of work for you to do. So plan it accordingly and see you people on Saturday. We have a class on Saturday. Saturday, I'll be starting EMI. And I will be finishing off exercise 3 of the booklet as well. Current electricity. Right?
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good day. Bye and happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.